You're listening to the Money Monopolizers podcast, helping you take control of your financial destiny. It's about time that we invest more in our financial literacy and work towards building generational wealth. If you think you're ready to do the same, then you've come to the right place. Alex, Marlon, y'all ready? Let's get this bread.
What's good, everybody? It's Alex Kamuya here. We are back with episode 102 of the Money Monopolizers podcast, and I'm here with my co-host Marlon Walls. Marlon, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good. I love the smile that you got going on right now. Boy, just look happy. I know you love the studio setup, man. I know I do too. It's just been a surreal experience, just continuing to grow and continuing to progress as far as with the podcast, with the Money Monopolizers page, with our personal businesses. Like, I just feel like we're continuously growing. And the crazy thing is that this is only the beginning for us. Like, these past 2 years has really been just growth and evolution from everybody we brought into the podcast, from the things that we've talked about on the podcast, our changes in philosophy. But now we're just about to continue to go to the next level based on the people that we're surrounding ourselves with, and just continuously thinking and elevating to the next level.
Yeah, man. You know, it's funny because I was driving over here and I was listening to your boy.
Oh yeah,
Sleepers for Suckers.
Yes, sir.
And they was just talking about how him and Donnie, they were talking about how you know, because they were on episode like 146 of their podcast, and you know, he was talking about how, like, you know, people been asking him how do they, you know, get to this point, and like all these different things about how they got to the, you know, where they are now. And he was just talking about it's just consistency.
It is,
right? Just putting out an episode every week for, you know, indefinitely, right? And that's just kind of because they was talking about, you know, getting a podcast deal, Joe Rogan podcast deal, which is, you know, that's $100 million podcast. People making $100 million podcasting today, so don't sleep on podcasting. So that's like, I was just thinking, I was like, man, it's no reason for us not to try to get to that level with this podcast
seriously.
And with this platform. We could really take it as far as we want. It's just about staying consistent with it.
And one thing I like about us is just the fact of our age and the people that we can reach because of like where we're at our current journey. That's different than like EYL, different than Social Proof Podcast. Like, our age is like literally 10 years younger than they are. So we have.
You know, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, like we have a whole different perspective for one, and then like we have a whole different reach to people because they see somebody that is literally recently out of college, recently out of high school, that's able to resonate with them, and now we can impact them and also inspire people that are older than us because now they have less excuses on why they feel like they can't achieve something.
Yeah. That's a fact, man. And because it's always crazy, because I always be like watching a lot like EYL and his podcast and a lot of big podcasts and be like, dang, why we not there yet? Why we not there yet? And it's like, man, you got to remember, like, yo, these dudes been in the game for a minute.
Yeah,
like, you still a rookie. So it's just always trying to keep it in perspective and knowing that, like, yo, the time's gonna come. It's just about staying consistent, stay down till you come up.
That's it, bro.
That's just what, you know, we've been about. And we always tell people too, it's like, we've been taking y'all on a journey to financial freedom literally since we started this podcast in May 2019. It's been on the journey to financial freedom. So I don't know when you listen to this, wherever you listen to this, but, you know, at this point, when this episode does release, I mean, we'll have hit it. So,
oh, yeah, no question.
So, yeah, we recording this a long time. We recorded this a long time ago. We'll just say that. So, but yeah, man, this is going to be an absolutely fantastic, amazing episode. This is probably one of the episodes I personally have been looking forward to for a very, very, very long time. And I'm glad we are doing it in person because there was really no other way to do this episode with the guests that we have today. We got in the building Janilca and Anthony Hartzog from the Hartrimony. Man, how y'all doing?
Welcome. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate
We're doing good.
Fellas, man. Appreciate you guys having us.
First of all, we had them on the podcast.
Episode 38?
Yeah, a long time ago, like last I guess
last
it was
year.
April. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 38. So it was a long, long time ago when we had them on the podcast. We've grown, we've evolved, and we've gotten to a lot of other things. And there's a lot that we want to get into today, specifically more so, you know, talking about the cleaning business because for those that don't know, I do have a cleaning business. I mean, if you listen to this podcast, you know that. But I learned the game from these two, and that's why I say I gotta pay my respects because, like, yo, and I was telling because we was in Dallas last week, and I was telling you, I was like, yo, I liquidated all my other businesses to focus on this one business because I saw the potential, I saw the growth from that what the cleaning business could do, and it's like I know I had to focus in order to really take it to that next level, and I don't know, man. It's just crazy because it's like I want to get too much into it because we're gonna talk about it. But it's like, man, the point I'm at now, it's like the type of money the business bring in that came off of $147.
We're gonna talk about that.
That's not the price right now.
We're gonna talk about it. That's what we're gonna talk
now.
about.
I don't know what it costs right now at this point in time. But
Absolutely.
when I took the course, it was $147.
$149. $2 more.
We got them $2.
$149 and I've at this point. I mean, what the time y'all listen to? I mean, I've made well over $200,000 from this business off of that course. And it's like when you look at the ROI off of that, it's
Come on, man.
Right.
severely undercharged.
That's why it's not the price right now, people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Probably
so-
won't be the price when you hear in this interview either.
Yeah. I know. I remember we was talking about last week, kind of what y'all's thinking as far as the price. So, hey, that's on y'all. Y'all gotta.
That's on y'all.
Hey, we've been talking about it, so that's on y'all. But we want to get into a lot of that stuff today. So, but first, before we do get into all that, can y'all briefly, because for the people, a lot of people probably, we have a lot of new listeners now at this point, and so a lot of people probably haven't heard episode 38. So can y'all talk about y'all's journey prior to actually getting into the cleaning business and, where y'all are today as far as like how y'all met and, everything that y'all did in terms of finances and those things?
That's a long one. So briefly,
We'll wrap it up.
Well,
5 minutes.
Wow. We're from Brooklyn, New York, and we've known each other probably 15, 20 years now. So like was dating in high school, went to college, separated,
Middle
got
school.
back together.
Yeah.
Whatever. Got back together after when we were adults. So we got married May 2016 and then moved to Dallas June 2016. In that time, we were just vibes, just hanging in a new city. Newlyweds in a new city. We didn't have any family in Dallas, so that was a big transition for us. No family or friends. The reason we started a cleaning business was to pay off debt. Yeah. So we started the payoff journey January 2017.
Yeah. So I was listening to a podcast and I heard a story about a kid who was able to create a cleaning business, making $10,000 a month in college, and I said we could do that. Brought the idea to Janilca.
I said no.
She said no,
but we were side hustling like crazy as well to pay off our debt at that time.
So we were doing Rover. We were working at. I picked up a $9 hour job while making 6 figures, working at Equinox, and Janilca got a job at Equinox. Rented out my car on Turo back in 2017, so I could have been the car rental guru.
We didn't know.
We didn't know about courses.
Oh, you did that before they was doing that.
It was. I was just literally. I listened to a podcast, heard a story about somebody just trying to pay off debt with their car. So was doing that, walking dogs, watching dogs. We were just trying to build up income just to pay off this debt.
What the hell were you doing for $9 an hour?
Equinox.
Equinox. I was a.
He did maintenance. I was working the front desk.
Yeah.
What?
That's $9 an hour in Dallas.
And I got a free membership at Equinox.
It was a free membership there.
Gym?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's
one
a
of the
luxury
highest
gym.
end gyms in the nation.
Yeah, it's a luxury gym.
Luxury gym paying you $9 an hour.
No.
No. It starts at like $160, $180 a month.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the employees making $9 an hour.
Right.
though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you were in New York, you would have got a higher rate.
Yeah.
But Texas is a little
value.
different.
So we were just trying to pay off debt. So we were just side hustling to pay off this debt. And one of the ideas that we came up with was just to start the cleaning business, and that kind of just took everything else over.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's funny because I know I talked to Anthony about this too, and it's like we had like a similar mindset in terms of like just starting up a lot of different things, having a lot of different things going, and then you mentioned how you mentioned the cleaning business to Janilca, and she said no.
Yeah.
And it's funny because last week whenever we were in Dallas, you were talking about how like if it was just me, I would either be really rich or I'd be really poor.
He says that all the time.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Because having that other having that your significant other to kind of balance you. I mean, obviously there's benefits to it, and there should be majority benefits.
Should be positive.
Yeah. But what was it that like made you like say no initially to starting the cleaning business when he brought it to you?
Well, there's a few things. We had never started a business before or ever discussed business or anything like that. But I think his mind was expanding more as he listened to more podcasts. During that time where we were side hustling, all of our side hustles came from podcasts that he listened to. So he was expanding more like his knowledge and mindset there, but I don't listen to podcasts to this day. I don't listen really to anything. Oh my God. So I'm not really expanding in that way. So I'm just like, no. First I'm like, I don't want to clean. We don't know what we're doing. All those things. We never had a business before. How are we going to do this? how much does this cost? You know, all those things that people say when you don't know, right? You don't know, so you just assume the negative. So that's really where it came from for me with saying no.
So, okay, so I don't want to gloss over the fact that y'all said that y'all did pay off $114,000 in debt in 23 months from the side hustles.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, we talked a lot about that in their original episode 38, in terms of how they increase their income to pay off debt through side hustles as opposed to trying to decrease your, lifestyle. So go check that out if you want to hear more about that in depth. But this episode is not for that. we ain't talking about that this episode. This episode, we get into something else in terms of the cleaning business. So obviously, and I'm going to let you go here in a minute, Morning, but okay. I just wanted to mention or talk. How did y'all? Was it the cleaning business that y'all used primarily to pay down the debt, or was it like a bunch of the things, or what? Like where did the majority of the debt pay down come from? Was it the 9 to 5 or the cleaning business? I just want to hit on this real quick.
So we both make decent income, over 6 figures, and a lot of it came from us just budgeting and saving our money to pay down the debt. So we kept the cleaning business money. We kept the business money in the business. Yeah. We didn't touch any of it, and it just became this bank account that was just growing, and we didn't touch it. We didn't do anything with that money. So we got to the point where we were debt free, and we hired an accountant eventually for the cleaning business. She's like, you guys could take out income from this business.
But once we started seeing the P&L, really, because we didn't really have, we had
vibes.
We had QuickBooks. It's like, I think this is what this is.
Yeah, QuickBooks.
But once we actually started seeing the money, it was like, okay, yeah, we can take out.
So your bank account goes from 1,000 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. And we just didn't touch any of the money. We just kept that money in the business to let it grow, and all the other money that we were bringing in, we were living off of and just paying down the debt. Yeah. And we just used all the side hustle income to pay down the debt, and our 9 to 5 income to pay down the debt.
Man, I love that.
Yeah, and that's one thing I learned. I just noticed from y'all is that y'all, like, especially Ant, like, just you had a hustle mentality of I got to find some type of way to achieve my goal. So at the time, the goal was just paying down this debt. So I'm going to just research everything that I need to in order to figure out what method can I use to pay down this debt, whether it's tour, whether it's Equinox, whether it's pet service or whatever. I need to do something in order to attack this debt. And I know it's like very challenging, especially when you've been exposed to something, like you've been exposed to a different way of operating, especially when it comes to making income, versus talking with somebody who hasn't really been exposed to the same thing. Because I know I go through that all the time, talking to like my cousins and people back at home. Like when you are exposed like to a different environment, you have a whole new way of thinking, but the people around you may not have that same exact way. So what does it take in order to really like influence your wife to say, I like the idea that you got it. I like this idea. Let's jump into it, especially for the cleaning business. This was the game changer. So what was that process like for you?
It's really not influence. It's just talking about it and seeing what the thoughts are. I try to present any idea that I have. I try to lay it down A through Z, which is a detriment. You don't want to overthink things, but I try to lay it down as clear as possible. Like with the trucking business we were talking about it, I said a little bit. It was like I had A through I don't know, Q. It was
I can't go to Q.
And she knew that it wasn't. She knew that the idea wasn't fully fleshed out, so she saw my heart wasn't in it. Yeah. And she was able to say, "And you know what? This may not be for us." And I was like, "You know what? It's not." And I knew it.
You're right.
I knew it. But with the cleaning business, it was like, I think this was for us because I brought it up multiple times. You always say that.
I always say that too. But it's funny because with the hustle mentality, because we both grew up in the projects, like same building. Like, so we grew up in the same exact. He was on the 4th floor, I was on the 6th floor. But our life was still different. I'm the only child. He has 2 younger brothers and things like that. Our life was different. So for me, like, I didn't get my first job till college. He had a first job at 12 years old, right?
Packing bags of key food.
Yeah.
12?
12 packing bags of key food.
Yeah. They give you a little coin.
They give you a little coin.
They give you a little change.
I bought my first video game, $50, Killer Instinct, Super Nintendo.
Right.
Man.
And so like I did like summer youth here and there, but it wasn't I don't know, it wasn't a thing. People say, you didn't want your own money? I'm like, no, I think my mother gave me. I didn't need my own money. I don't know. So it's like
and her mother's in the studio today.
Shout out to mom.
So we grew up in the same exact like setting, but it still was a different life, right?
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing I always tell people is if Tony or Anthony brings it up all the time, that means he really means it. So like coming to Dallas was like something that he was very adamant about, because usually he lets me have happy wife, happy life. So it's usually like my way is fine. But if he keeps bringing it up, then it's really important to him. That's how I see it.
That's good.
So then that's how I know, like, okay, I need to listen up more. We really need to make changes here or see how it goes. And to be quite honest, he's never been wrong. So I say that as well.
And that truck, I brought that up like twice, maybe.
See, no,
She's like, nah, you ain't serious about that.
I really like that response though, because now it shows how y'all compliment each other so well, because you know that you have to bring in straight facts and you have to be adamant about something as far as you, Anthony, in order for her to be okay with something. But if she's going to spot out when you are not really being serious and you just want to keep jumping from one thing to the next.
That's important.
And I think that's why you keep on saying if I'll be either really rich or really poor, because some stuff you don't be serious enough about, and then you get into it and you spend all this money and like, man, I don't even want to do this no more.
One time.
Hey, I think that's a good having that, because I could tell you the same, just even in my mindset, because I'm very similar.
Exactly. I think both of you, Alex and Anthony, are like y'all like the same person, except you have her to balance you out.
Yeah.
He just jumping.
I just go into anything, so
Something gonna work.
hey man,
So I got to stick.
So no, I really like that dynamic that y'all bring, and I think that can be at least an inspiration to a lot of people that have that couple dynamic that's trying to get their significant other on board. You have to know that you as the one that's like very driven, you need to make sure that you can bring them on board with just facts, evidence, A to Z of how this is going to happen to help them out within their personal mind as far as
Make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's really, I think it's a safety and security thing that you're looking for, which is why a lot of people cling to the 9-to-5 income in the first place.
Exactly.
Because that is deemed safe and secure.
Right.
So if you can convince them that the cleaning business or whatever business that you want to do is safe and secure as well, then now they'll be a lot more on board to go along with you. So
hold on. Did y'all grow up in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Born and raised.
For real?
Born and raised. First time left the city. Well, he went to Albany, which is in New York, but just like maybe upstate New York. But I stayed in Brooklyn my whole life until we moved to Dallas.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
How far is that from Jay-Z's spot? The
Brooklyn?
Marcy
Where we live?
Marcy Projects.
Where we live is about 30 minute drive, depending on traffic, from Jay-Z's spot, from Marcy Project.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Okay, cool. Or what were you finna get into?
I was about to get into like the numbers and everything. How
Oh
the business
yeah.
going.
Talk about what y'all did as far as we'll go into the present, then we're gonna go back in time, of course, and kind of just talk about the evolution. But what has the business come to now in terms of like y'all's revenue, and also what y'all are doing in terms of like teaching people the business? How does all that look right now?
So we started teaching the business of how to create your six-figure cleaning business from anywhere without cleaning homes. We started teaching it last year at the height of the pandemic.
June 1st.
June 1st. We were at home, and the idea was, listen, people keep asking the same questions over and over. We hop on Twitter, we hop on IG. Everyone's like, well, what are you guys doing? But
Make
we're
it
not
make
posting
sense.
about it.
Yeah.
We talking about it a little bit. We giving like little gems, but we wasn't really posting about it. So we really started posting about it around that time in June. And the idea, go ahead.
Well, because when we interviewed y'all, we didn't even talk about the cleaning business barely, because y'all
No.
raised
we
over.
We realized that almost all of our interviews, podcasts, and everything is around paying off the debt.
Paying off the
Yeah.
debt.
And it was like, we have a cleaning business. That's how it is. And even because we was on Good Morning America last year, January, same thing. It literally ended with and now they started a cleaning business. And that's it.
That's
how,
crazy, because that's two
that's
different
it.
stories that are huge.
Yes.
Right.
Continue.
So that's exactly what it was. So our story was mainly around us gathering an income and paying off $114,000 of debt in 23 months. So we got to the point we kept all the side hustles. We were still growing our side hustles. We kept that, and the cleaning business was taking off. And we around June.
Yeah, we launched in June. So once again, he came and was like, I think we should do a course. I'm like, I don't know anybody.
She's like,
want the
nah.
course.
She's like, nobody want to know. She's like, nobody want to know this information. It was like,
I was like, it's too
I was
specific.
like, people
I
are
don't think you
asking
wanna know.
for it. If you look at the comments, you look at the same questions, people are asking for this information. It's like, you know what? We're going to go on live. I was like, we're going to go on live. We're going to give away the whole course, literally the whole course. We went on live. We summed it up, but it was an hour. We went on live. We was like, we're going to give away the whole course.
And I told him, if you could get 10 sales, we didn't have the course. We just had a link.
Yeah,
we just had a link.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I went on Gumroad while we on the live. I created the link on Gumroad. I was like, yo, here's a pre-sale link.
I said, if you
It
could
didn't
get
have
10
nothing.
sales.
Nothing.
Didn't have
I created a cover that was in like Canva, and I was like, all
I
right.
said, if you could get 10 sales, then we'll do the course. All right, fine. And so we ended, we had 15
I was like, all
pre-sales
right.
that came in.
Off of
I was-
live.
I said if we get one sale, I'm gonna do the course myself.
And I said, yeah, that's what
I'll
he
do it
said.
myself. I say it's worth it to me. I'll do the course myself.
That one person, yeah, you
We
got
did a
to.
debt-free course too. He did himself
I did it
because I
myself.
wasn't on board with that either. He did
Really?
himself.
Yeah.
We have a debt-free course as well. That he's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
nah, I'm
the
gonna do it.
different-
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. So that's how that was. And so I was like, oh damn, all right. So we got guess we got a course
So
coming
we
out.
got up that live. We said, all right, we made what $1,500 and
Something like
now we
that, I
gotta
don't
make this
remember.
course.
That's crazy.
And
And
that's
that's
how
you
it
know why I
started.
love that though? It's because y'all just took action off of it, really.
Right.
Because it's like most people would try to have everything perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no. Of course, I'm speaking to me. I would try to have. Everything. That's how I am. It's
See how most people.
Yeah, most people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, like it got to be perfect set up. And it's like, nah, you ain't even gonna know about it until it's like
it's done.
the last I is dotted. So,
But we do that because we're probably afraid of we probably afraid of failure at that point. So if we would have created a course and we would have put it out there and nobody bought it, it's like, damn, we put this course out here and nobody bought it.
Yeah.
But at that point, we had no choice. We already put the energy out there and we saw what people wanted. Most of the time, if you could do that, you start collecting money up front, you know there's a need. Most of the time, we go create something nobody wants. So at this point, we know people want it because they bought it. 15 people paid for it. So at least 15 people want it.
Yeah.
And that's
at minimum.
And that's what we did. That's kind of the energy we went off of. And now to date, we've done, I don't know how many sales we got.
This year we were at about 115,000 in sales from the course this year.
man.
But that doesn't include last year. So last year has its own separate amount. But
it's halfway through the year.
halfway through the year, yeah. And we are hoping to grow more and more. So
Yeah, for sure. So-
I guess people want that course.
So
More than 15 people
he hasn't
too.
steered us wrong.
So how much in revenue did the actual business? Because guys, this is not even the business. They
Yeah, that's just the course.
That's the
Six
just
figure clean
information.
business, 6 figure clean business course.
Yeah,
Right.
Now y'all got to make a course on how to make a course.
I'm sure he mentioned it. I know he mentioned it.
Every few times he's like, we got to show people how we do this. We got to show people how we do this. I'm like, they can buy from other people.
My thing is, there's always is questions that people ask you that are recurring questions, and one of the questions is, how'd you create your course?
Yeah.
Like even when we was talking about it, I'm like, yo, get all your me and Marlon, I'm like, yo, put all your cars in front of you. I was like, you need to create content. When you get all your cars on one day, create content the full day around that. I was like, because that's what people want to see.
His
So-
biggest thing is, even if we don't know everything about content, we could bring people to where we are at least. And there's many people that just want to get there or just getting started. Because I'm always like, there's tons of content courses out there they could take. He's like, but they turn to us for a reason. So if we could just take them to where we are, that's enough for them.
Yeah.
So
What you have to understand when you are an influencer, people are coming to you for you.
Yeah.
Then there may be other courses out there, but how many other people have paid off $114,000 in debt in 23 months, then built
That
a
are
cleaning
from
business,
or regular from the projects. One of the reasons the projects.
that grew up
Yeah.
together since middle school and had that story about they've been together since, like, y'all been together for that long. Y'all have a personal story that y'all have to tell along with just the fact that we're teaching you how to make a course.
Yeah.
It's not just that.
And
people are coming to you for you, not necessarily for the information.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like what y'all talk about in the course too, or at least in the original one. I don't know if y'all talk about it now, but like, you know, in terms of competition, because a lot of people think it's like so much saturation, the market saturated, all that. It's like same way when you go to the the grocery store, you're in the bread aisle, you see 18 million different brands of bread. It's because each one of those is marketing to a different individual.
Yep.
So
Just like makeup. Everybody got an eyelash and a lip gloss and a lipstick that's red. Everybody, but we
and
buy
that's
whatever.
that's how we try to treat this podcast too, in terms of like. We know like our audience is out there. We just got to get to them and find them, and it's gonna grow off of that. So, but okay, so yeah, that's the actual the courses and that. How much did the actual business do up into this? How much has it done?
We're at
so
about
today.
like 750.
Yeah,
750,000 in
800.
sales. So
Oh my gosh.
close to 800. So
800,000, yeah.
November will be 4 years that we've been in business. We
And-
were. Go ahead.
No,
No, I was just
you got a
saying, we were
story.
saying, because people asked, well, when did it take off? I'm like, we were slow. It was a slow trajectory. We didn't hit a 10K month until a year in. We started
gosh.
November 2017. We didn't hit a 10K month until November 2018 when we look at the numbers. So when we hear like our students say, well, I didn't do this yet, I'm like, listen,
I was like, y'all too busy looking at Alex. That's the problem.
They in competition with Alex. When we had you on the
And-
live,
but-
they're like,
Yeah.
But that's
how?
but that's very important because we when we show the numbers and trajectory over the course of the time that we've been in business for 4 years.
That's
We
it.
literally have we have a physical cleaning business in Dallas, Texas for 4 years. People think it's just a course. No, it's a business that we have outside. We stopped selling courses. We still have this business, and it took us 4 years to get to where we are today. But now we're able to get people there in half, a quarter, millisecond of the time, and we've done close to 800,000. But that was, like I said, that was over course of a 4
But
years.
each year it's been doubling.
Exactly.
Every time.
Yeah, so like
it's
the first
doubling
year,
sales.
I think we did like 80. The second year we did like 200.
Yeah.
The
So it's just
third
been-
year was like 400, and fourth year is like now it's like close to 800. So you see how that doubles. Now next year we expect to be over 1 million like soon.
Oh my
Now,
gosh,
I
that's
always
crazy.
hit on this. Now, during the course of that 4 years, how many other business were y'all like getting into during that time?
That's a good point. Shoot.
So we have.
So we still kept our side hustles that wasn't none of them were officially businesses.
No. At that time, I was still working at Equinox. I became a manager there. I stopped. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just climbing the
I
corporate
didn't let
ladder
it
on the
go.
side hustle.
I left Equinox
He
because
left after like 7
I was
months.
I was
still
losing
there.
weight. I couldn't keep up the hours because I was doing.
He was doing a lot.
I was doing 9 to 5 and then 5 to 10 like for 40 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a lot.
He was doing a lot, but I left
Couldn't
like
work out.
a week or 2 weeks before COVID hit. That's when I left. So we were doing that.
just
but-
last year.
Yeah, just last year. But in terms of businesses, the car rental business, which we only have one now, but
Right.
we're hoping to expand that.
After I take Marlon's course.
Yep. We have an investment property. We only have one there too, but that's doing pretty well. We also have a virtual assistant business, which we just bought this February.
For cleaning business
For cleaning
specifically.
businesses
Right.
as well. And then the cleaning business, and then our brand, Hartzogs Instagram. It's a business. It takes a lot
Oh,
of work
Lord.
and time, as you guys know.
Branding is a whole
Yeah,
job.
so that's about like 5 businesses that we have.
on top of this 9 to 5. that
On
you
top
said.
of 9 to
9 to
5s.
5.
We
She
each
has
have
2
9 to
9 to
5, and I
5s.
actually have 2
You said you got 2 9 to 5s now?
Yeah. Both of them in therapy too.
Open with that. Yes.
Yo, that is crazy. Y'all got 5 businesses and a 9 to 5. And
Yes.
these are like legitimate business. It's not just talking about like, yeah, it's just something over
no.
there, but it's like legitimate businesses, right?
Yeah.
And y'all are still trying to, I know y'all are still trying to buy more real estate,
Yeah.
obviously, because once you buy one, you're just not gonna just
Oh, man.
rent
I've been wanting to buy real estate
Yeah.
since we got that first one.
Yeah, that's another conversation. But, but the fact I feel like what y'all essentially niche down though in terms of like what became the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Like there is something that is the main thing because there's no way you can like give the same energy y'all give to all like the cleaning business and also the community and the courses to everything else, the real estate, the rental
You know-
cars, while having a 9 to 5. Maybe if you didn't have a 9 to 5, I could see it.
Yes,
But like, there's
yes,
no
we
way
know.
with a 9 to 5.
You don't
So-
hear them saying, we're 6-figure earners in the rental car space,
Yeah,
6-figure earners
definitely
in
not.
the
Yeah, no,
rental
no.
property space,
No,
6-figure earners.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No.
And the crazy thing is, it's like y'all said, it grows exponentially too.
Yep.
Because like, and I
Yep.
talked about this in one of the previous episodes. I did the first 100,000 in 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
I did the next 100,000 in 3. From May when I got the 100, 200 came. Is gonna come in the next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
But-
Before July is
By the
over.
time-
yeah, before when y'all hear this, it'll already be there. But yeah, it exponential. The next 100,000 eventually will be 100,000 months.
Right,
Right, so it
weeks.
just exactly days, hopefully, right? And so it just grows and it's exponential base. And I just keep saying it was just based off 149. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, and
it's-
that's the thing, we recognize that, and that's why we raised it. And the course is still that course, but we added more value based on
A lot of
questions and
questions,
things, and more
comments,
videos
concerns.
and stuff that we've heard.
Like that
but
competition, we put a lot more time into like getting over that fear of I'm in the competitive market. Like we had to break down a lot of people's fears in the course too, in different parts.
or hitting 100K a year or a month and things like
breaking
that.
down the
But
numbers. What does that actually look like?
we recognize that we're like, well, you're not just like you're building a full business here. You can make $400,000. You can make $1 million business from this course.
Yes.
This is why the price is going up still, because it's not just a like one and done.
Yeah.
And this is a business that we've built over 4 years. This is not
That you're always gonna need. People always
like
gonna need
I had
this.
one of my frat bros took the course and he sent me a text. He's like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna have my kids work for my business this summer." He's like, "That work for nobody else but my business, the cleaning business." He's like, "I'm gonna have them taking calls. I'm gonna have them doing quality assurance. I'm gonna have them doing audits." He's like, "I'm gonna have them work for my business." He's like, "I can't have them work for my law firm." He's a big time lawyer. He's like, "But I
crazy.
can't have them work for my law firm."
Ownership.
And he's like, "I'm gonna have my daughter and my son work for my business this summer." And I was like, "That's crazy." I was like, I almost brought a tear to my eye too.
I bet, because that's what it is. It is a legitimate business that is literally you can pass it to your kids. You can do whatever with it at some point. It's not like you just take the course and you just do something on the side or just vibes. You build a legitimate business. They teach you how to structure your business. They teach you how to find the cleaners. They teach you how to find customers. They teach you how to do everything that you need in order to get started. Now, applying that's on you. And so, and that's when you tend to see a lot of people that the people that struggle and the people that actually take off with it. So, Martin, what were you about to say? Because I was.
No. I was about to just hit on the same thing about people investing into these courses, because a lot of people always see information and be like, bro, the information should be free. Like, why are you charging for information? Do you see the results that they're able to get? For one, you heard that y'all just told y'all a story about how it's taking 4 years for y'all to gain this level of traction. So that meant that y'all didn't just give it all laid out on a silver platter. You were searching over here, searching over there, asking this person, asking that person, and then you had to go apply it over time and learn from your own experiences of how to run this business efficiently. Talking about you were going off of just vibes for the whole first 2 years. Yeah. Now, all of that information is bundled down into one spot to where you can expedite your entire learning curve. You can build that 6-figure business in 9 months because of the fact that all the information has been laid out to you. That you're investing in that, not necessarily just paying for, you're not paying for information, you're paying for somebody's time that they've put in to learn the information. Yeah. And so I think that's like the big takeaway that I want people to understand when it comes to investing into these courses, because they're pretty much cutting out your learning curve, and now you can just expedite your process into building your 6-figure business.
Yeah. And my we just came from brunch with our financial consultant, our business consultant, and we broke down the number as to what it was actually the amount of time and money that we spent to build this business. He said you put $65,000 of time into this business. And he sent me a long
What is that
test.
based off of?
It was a long, so my hourly rate at work is like $60 per hour, and her hourly worker rate is whatever it was. And then we broke down how long did it take us to build the actual business structure. We broke down the hourly rate. We say it took us 4 months to it took us 4 weeks to build the business. And then we said, how long were we in conversation about the business before we built it? We said 2 months.
How much time did we spend on the business?
How much time did we spend in the business every week before we actually built the business? When you built the business, how many times do you talk about the business amongst us 4 years? And we literally broke it down. He's like, it's about $68,000, and that was just hourly rate. He's like, I'm not even going to put it into time and materials and how much money you actually lost when you first started. He's like, but $68,000 was the base. The $65,000 was the base rate that you guys put into the business before it actually was launched to anybody else. So if you think about it like that, that was crazy.
I don't even think about that. I know.
I bet.
He's like $65,000 was the base rate you guys spend in time and your monetary compensation, what something like that could be worth.
Yeah, and so that's just crazy, because it just goes to show you how much how valuable your time really is in terms of whenever you are building something. So it's like that's alone just proves the value of the information that y'all do give out, because in theory, the price, I mean, the information could be priced significantly higher, and it could still be justified based off of what it could do.
Worth 5 figures plus.
Oh, easy. So
with the ROI, definitely.
But then you talking about the free information, like people when we have these conversations, just like how do you justify a high ticket item versus a low ticket item? We're on live. We went live 14 times last month, and that's a 30 minutes to a half an hour, 30 minutes to an hour of our time every single.
Your whole page content is free information. Your whole Instagram page is
this
free.
Y'all want free content? That's what the page is for.
That's what the page is for.
Like this podcast that's sitting here talking to you guys. Yeah,
right, that's free
talking
content.
to you guys, but that's free. You guys do this every single week for 100 and something episodes. That's the free content you guys are putting out. It's a free game. So when people try to justify the prices of what you guys have, is like, no, think about all the free game that I'm also giving you, in addition to the price of this course or whatever it may be.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So that's why it's like whenever someone comes in, my message is talking about the price of my course or anything, that's like, yo, I'm gonna block you, bro. Like,
you're not my customer.
Because that's not your customer.
More times than not, somebody's coming to you because they want like the one-on-one personal interaction of information, and it's like this point, a return on time.
Oh God, quick questions.
They're quick questions.
That's why I do a lot of reels on quick questions too. I'm like, I want to hurt somebody's feelings so they don't ask that quick question.
They got 30.
Pick your brain.
Oh Lord, 32 quick questions, and you probably have at least 1,000 lunches that have been offered to you in the DMs.
Please. A $13 lunch.
So pick your brain. That sounds painful, man. I don't want my brain picked.
That's what you always respond with.
Yeah,
that sounds painful, bro.
But I know this. So we're almost like hanging a carrot in front of a donkey right now, because everybody's hearing 6-7 figure cleaning business, and they're like, bro, how do they get into this cleaning business? Like what? Like, do I have to clean the houses? Like, what do I need to do in order to get that started? So just at least give a general breakdown so that people at least understand what the cleaning business is.
We'll give the whole breakdown. So it's very similar to Airbnb, Lyft, Uber. There's a service that needs to be provided. There's a person who does the service, and we pretty much match them. It's like the Airbnb or the Uber of cleaning businesses. And that's kind of what we do. So we match contractors with people who need their home cleaned, and we take a percentage of that. And that's essentially the beginning of the breakdown there.
And everything is remote, so we have contractors, so we don't need to have any cleaning supplies. They provide all of that on their own. So
we find contractors on Facebook. We find them on Nextdoor. We find them on Craigslist. We find them on Yelp. We find
anywhere you'll find workers.
And a big question we get is how do you kind of justify, how do you kind of explain to a contractor who's never done something like this, why would they give you a percentage of their business versus doing it on their own? We work a lot of mom and pop shops who don't have online presences, who don't have any websites, they don't have anything.
Or enough business.
They just working off of vibes. They don't have a business essentially. They just clean.
They don't even have LLC.
Yeah. Somebody came up to us yesterday. We was at an event and they was like, I'm in Dallas. It's like, how much would it cost for us to clean, for you guys to clean my house? She's like,
we're pricey.
yeah. She's like, I had somebody cleaning my house right now. I was like, well, they're probably just a person cleaning your house versus you have an entire company. So one of the benefits is that when that person calls out, when that person's sick, I have an entire staff of people who can get to you. Yeah. Our people are also insured. So if there's any incidents in your home, we could take care of it. The company can take care of it. They can take care of it. You have an individual cleaning your house. If they steal something or break something, that's on you and that individual. We had somebody, one of our cleaners who actually was early on in the business, probably year 1 or year 2. I'm talking about the couple we had.
Go ahead.
So the couple we had, they pretty much poached our client. And the client signed them on, and the client came back to us. It was like a Friday night. They were like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
It was literally a Friday.
It was a Friday. We was at the bar. We was turning up.
He was out. I was out. I'm like, what?
We was at the bar turning up, and they came back and they reached out to us via text, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was working with your cleaners directly. I'm so sorry."
We don't work with them no more.
We was like, "We don't work with them no more." They smell like weed, and they took something. And what can you guys do? I was like, "There's nothing we could do because we don't work with them anymore. You took them on your own." So that's one of the things. That's one of the benefits you get for working with a company like ours versus working with individuals you just find mom and pop shops.
Did he leave a bad review?
Yeah, he left a bad review. That was our first 1-star review too.
On
He's
Google,
like, they was horrible cleaners and they smelled like weed. And I responded like, we stopped working with them months ago. You decided to go on your own and start working with them.
This ain't our business.
Yeah. And see, I think because the biggest thing, because when I tell people about the business too, and it's like most people's first thing is like, oh, you're cleaning houses. It's like,
yeah. Do I look like I'm cleaning the house?
I'm here with you right now.
Like, come on now. Why would I go? I have nothing against like house cleaners and people that do that. It's like, come on now. I mean, just based on the kind of some of the other things that that I got going on, I'm like, I'm not gonna go do that as well. So
you don't have time,
right? And so that's why this is such a valuable business, because it's like you had mentioned earlier, this is something like people are always gonna need. Because one thing that when I first took y'all's course and when I first, heard about it and started talking, when y'all had first mentioned it last year, I was thinking about all the different ways like this industry could get disrupted. Because that's what I was just trying to think of. I was like, okay, if I got into this, how long could it possibly actually last? Because it's like certain things, there's a timeline for it, right? Because everything won't last forever. But the more I thought about this, it was just like, there's nothing that could really disrupt that industry, because even if you want to, say technology, it's like, unless it's like a human robot
cleaning
that can clean, which at that point, most people wouldn't even trust a human robot looking thing to be in their home, a humanoid to be in their house cleaning their house. So it's like there's no possible way this industry could get disrupted, at least through technology. I really sat there and I thought about it for about a week before I actually did it, because
a lot of service-based businesses in general can't go out of, like, you always gonna need somebody to do your hair. You always gonna need a plumber. You always gonna need somebody to load them up forever.
Yeah, a
person.
person.
And this business itself is not just for the cleaning industry. When we first thought about it, it was just a local service-based business. Yeah. Anything that's local. So we were talking about an event last night, and they were talking about a barber shop. I was like, now if the barber took our business model versus him cutting hair,
same thing.
It would be crazy.
Yeah, he would go crazy.
It would go crazy. But he's thinking about, I'm a barber, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Versus I'm an owner. Let me create a whole network of barbers that I can just assign them work and take a percentage of it.
That's crazy. See, because most people think in the technician mindset. Nobody's thinking of like the entrepreneur, right? The business owner, in terms of like the visionary of the company. Most people are just operators day to day, and that's why you mentioned it's such a good partnership because essentially you're the middleman connecting with these contractors, these cleaners, because they already have their own businesses, and
quote unquote, yeah.
And so, but they're technicians. They know how to clean houses. They know how to do those things. Now, my job is the middleman. I'm not even. That's why I tell people, it's like, I don't even technically have a house cleaning business. It's just a marketing company.
At the end of the day,
You're right, because
a
that's
referral agency, as California.
referral
says.
agency.
exactly
That's a
right.
good name.
In the same way, Airbnb, they don't have a real estate company.
Right.
Uber, Lyft, they don't have
They don't
a
own no cars.
a rental
No
car
car.
company. Right. So it's the same exact thing. It's just I'm the middleman, and that's at the end of the day, middlemen they make the most money.
Middleman, you
In
way to
America.
millions.
Right, right. Because you look at every company essentially is a middleman. Even Walmart. Walmart is a middleman. Amazon
Oh,
is a
they have a
middleman.
lot of.
Yeah, they're all.
Walmart, Amazon, Uber, Airbnb, Lyft, Grubhub.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those.
Keep going on. Keep going on.
I always
But-
go ahead. No.
I was gonna say one thing you mentioned was what could disrupt the industry. COVID disrupted the industry, but cleaning was very essential during COVID.
Yeah.
Fortunately and unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we did see a sharp decline, but we saw it was quicker than the stock market. Keep going to that stock market because it came down, but it came right back up in August. But exactly as quickly as things declined in March, April, it came right back up. May, June.
Yeah.
Because the cleaning industry is deemed as essential because people need cleanings.
Any COVID cleaning.
COVID cleaning. That was a big thing. It's probably still around now. But
So when that
is.
happened, was it like, what was y'all's mentality with the business? Because I got in August when it was like,
it was
I
back
caught
up.
the
coming
wave.
back up.
You caught the wave
Yeah.
up.
I caught the wave. So, but y'all
Caught the wave up.
y'all had to write it
So,
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wrote it down, and I know a lot of people say, well, why don't you just go into commercial? We work with contractors. The contractor needs to know how to clean in commercial. They need to have supplies for commercial. It's a whole different ballgame. If we had employees, we could have just been like, all right, we're doing that. So we had a lot of customers put it on pause. Not many people canceled. A lot of people put it on pause, and some people continued with it.
A lot of them came back too.
Yeah.
Another thing we did was since this is not remember this is still not our main source of income. We were able to just start pulling things
Cut
back.
back.
We
Cut
was
back
like
in marketing.
we cut back on marketing. We kept SEO.
I don't know.
We
I
kept
couldn't even tell you.
SEO.
Yeah, because we were
But-
ready for the rise.
We was like,
stop
it was like it's gonna come back. The stock market, you're not
Yeah.
pulling your money out the stock.
Yeah.
He was like, this is gonna come back. So
Right.
we kept that.
We cut back on
We
marketing.
kept the major expenses
and we
that
cut
we
back
needed.
on we had virtual assistants, so we started answering the phone ourselves.
We started answering the
because
phone a little
it
bit.
wasn't
Calls
that
weren't
many.
coming in like that. Leads weren't coming in like that.
And now
we,
I was always working from home, but then now he was working from home, so now it was two of us to kind of tackle that.
Yeah,
So that's what we cut back
So
on.
we just cut back on things we could manage and control ourselves, and we just
Until
waited
they-
for that wave to come back up,
and then
and
we got everything
we were
right
ahead
back.
of it. A lot of businesses didn't. A lot of cleaning businesses unfortunately didn't survive during
Yeah.
COVID either because that was their main source of income. That was their main function. Like even our cleaners, they was really struggling. It's like, yo, how can we get you more business? We were giving them money. Like we had put out a what was it called? A campaign for gift cards. Like, listen, you buy us a gift card, it's gonna pay for the cleaning. It's gonna pay for the cleaners, and we just gave them all that money that came in to help them kind of stay on their feet. But we were like.
And with the model that we used, with not having any employees or supplies or anything,
we didn't
weren't
have
losing.
overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't losing at all. So it was just more kind of like we know that our contractors are losing because they need to work in order to make the money.
Yeah.
So we gave them,
but
we gave some of them
yeah.
higher percentages for cleanings that did come in, gift card money that came in. We kept them kind of functioning that way. We gave them information around COVID relief funds, different loans,
For those
different
that have
grants.
their LLCs and
Because we
all that
had a
sort of stuff.
PayPal grant that came in for like $10,000, and we was like, we didn't need this, and we sent it to all the contractors. Here's a PayPal grant for small businesses, entrepreneurs. How many of them filled it out? 0 to none. I said I have a lawyer. I asked my lawyer, who also I put him in the business, cleaning business, and I said, can you get them all the information they need? He's like, yeah, just have them contact me. How many do you think contacted him? None of them. We had a $10,000 loan grant. Excuse me,
Grant.
It was a grant.
Grant.
Excuse me.
It was a
It's
grant.
not even pay. That means you don't have to pay it back.
No,
No.
exactly. So we sent that same grant to everyone, and everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." It's like, "All right," I contacted my lawyer. He's like, "I'll fill out the paperwork for them." Just have them contact me. None of them did. So we did what we could to keep them, afloat as much
Right.
as we could.
But see, this is the value of what y'all do versus like just a general employee. As a middleman, you are solving more than one person's problem. You're not just solving your customer's problem. You're solving your employee's problem. Even when crisis times hit, you're trying to find a way to make it work for them. Find ways to get them grants and stuff like that. So that means that you are not solving you're solving your personal problem. You're trying to make a living off the business, but you're solving your clients' problems. You're handling phone calls. You're talking about your employees. You're making sure they're taken care of, or your contractors in this case. And so that's why you're so heavily compensated, because the more problems you solve, the more you're compensated for it. And I know a lot of people are just thinking, man, if I get into this business, I'm gonna have to clean houses or I gotta hire people. Both sound terrifying. How do I get these people? How do I get these contractors so that way I don't have to clean these houses, even though that's like way out of my comfort zone?
Contract. I mean, with any business, working with people is. I want to get into like a software business. I gotta work with people, man. I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, we always say,
we the same way.
with the business, we say the hardest part is finding contractors, but I think that's with any company, finding good people.
My 9 to 5 right now, we can't find nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. We going out the woodwork to find people.
It's just finding good people and then keeping good people and treating them like people is important too.
That's
Because
huge.
we've had a lot of contractors that work with other companies doing the same thing because they understand and they just say like, well, I don't really like talking with that person because the boss, they call it the boss even though you're just a partner, but that's how they speak.
We call them partners. We talk to them as we're like, yo, this is a partnership.
They're like, yeah, that boss over there yells or curses. I'm like, curses? Like, I would never talk to somebody like that. But I'm just saying, so it is difficult to do, but once you find those people and you treat them right, and like you said, they see the value in it because they have their own jobs, yes, but this provides way more work for them. Trust me. Like, even though it's a lower cut, it's more work, so it ends up being more money.
Volume.
The volume, exactly. So that's what keeps them around because most of our contractors, it's been 3 to 4 years that we've been working with them.
That's great.
So they share, like, one was in Cuba. She's showing her a pig. I'm like, what is she sending us? Another one is paying for her son to be in dentist school.
Wow.
Another one when they go to Mexico, she's like,
She make
I'm going
bread.
to
Money,
sell a
though.
house there. So they share, like, their personal life with us. And sometimes, you know, we've had one a few times that she needed to pay ahead of time because of things happening in the household, like with her husband, you know. So you build those relationships with them, and that's what helps to keep them around as well.
One was going through a whole
So-
divorce, and we were just like, all right, here you go. Whatever you need, like, we got you.
Yeah,
You want
she's
more
like, can I
business, more
get
money,
more jobs? And
advances.
so
We
all
gave
that
her-
type of stuff.
We gave her everything, but we usually find people just the way you find people right now. So we find people on Craigslist, Nextdoor, Yelp. Our biggest thing right now is Indeed, Facebook groups, because believe it or not, people are still looking for jobs out there. You just gotta present the job in the right manner. ZipRecruiter. Where else we finding people?
Well, those are the main spots. You didn't know them.
That's
Alex,
plenty, huh?
where you finding people?
Man.
Word of mouth. You do word of mouth if you know people.
Word of mouth, that's a
And
big
then
one.
also
Is
the
a
contractors
gem.
know other people most of the time.
doubt.
Most of
Yeah.
the time they're like, okay, my
Oh,
friend
yeah.
wants to leave this company.
Oh,
I told
yeah.
them to apply for
We
yours.
are snatching up,
So-
unfortunately, other companies right now.
But that's not my fault. I'm treating them right.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
make it
reason why
more-
they're
and you
leaving.
treat them like people, man, they'll
Yeah.
come around.
And
That's
So word of
huge,
mouth
man.
is big too.
That's a fact. And they're 100% right. Finding these people is the hardest part of this by far. Like, I even remember when we did the live. He was like, "What's been the hardest part besides finding people?" Right? 'Cause it's like-
Kick that out.
Easy question.
yeah. So that is, and the thing about it is like you said, regardless of what business you really go into, it's going to be hard finding quality people because at the end of the day, nobody's going to treat your business as if it's their own business. It's not their business. You can't even. I don't even expect anybody to. Like, be amazing. If I find, I just need you to be average. Like, honestly, like if I find you and it's like I can. The good thing about it is if you have systems and procedures in place, you can train somebody to be, you know, what you want them to be, to some extent. They just need to obviously just be respectable and those kinds of things, which a lot of them aren't. But you know, that's a whole other thing. But I think, I've just some ways that I've found people, right? So it's like Craigslist I've used. That's been, you know, it's just, and one thing, it depends on what city you're in because
Yeah, your market is different.
really
We say that
different.
all the time too.
Yeah, like you have to try everything. Every method that's available, you have to try it, put money into it just to see what's going to work. And then whatever works, you focus on that, right? Word of mouth is, I think, probably the best way. It's probably the lowest amount of leads, but it's the best way for me personally just because.
Highest conversion rate.
Yeah, and
They stick around.
I'm in San Antonio too, so there's a lot of people that actually are in that industry over there. So it's what you at, man.
No, don't worry about it.
So a lot of the people over there, it even got to a point where it's like last month I was getting like so many people getting sent to me because like the ones that were working, they were happy with us. I was like, yo, I don't even have enough work yet for all these people, but I always try to remember, man, gotta keep hiring. So I try to hire them anyway, and I just try to make sure I get them at least 2 jobs a week or whatever the case may be, because
Stay on their mind.
right, because I remember when I first started, that was the biggest pitfall
Oh,
that I had.
He told you that story? He was in the community saying, like, I got 3 contracts. I think I'm done.
I'm good.
I'm like, oh, 2.
I'm
I
about
don't
to be a
remember how many it
millionaire.
was.
I had
one.
Oh,
Yeah, he had that
Oh,
one.
He had
That was all last year.
Peace out, y'all. I'm about
He
to be
said
a
he had one
millionaire.
contract. I don't think I need to hire. We like, all right, he ain't listen to the book.
Yeah.
Because we drill that in the
Yeah.
course. We drill it
Multiple
everywhere.
jobs.
Like, keep hiring, keep hiring. He's like, we like, just.
He's like,
I
I'm
know
good,
that
bro.
one.
You don't
I was
understand.
like,
That's
we
one
think
stream
we
of income.
Come on. We think you should get some more contracts. Maybe a week later, like, this person left. And
He's down to like one.
So this is what happened,
Zero.
right? It was good, right? Because I got
It
her,
always is.
I got her from a word of mouth. It was actually, one of my rental properties, my tenant, it was her sister-in-law. She started working with me, and it was amazing. I was pretty much giving her every job I was getting, and it was like I was making like $5,000 a month. I was like, oh shoot,
We good.
Making $5,000. I didn't really expect much more than this, so it's like I'm good. And so it got to a point by the end of the year, because I was from like August till December that I was doing that 4 months. She was like, "Hey, I had to go to Mexico."
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, what you mean?
We need time off. We don't do time off here.
I don't have nobody else. Like,
I
do I
don't
get
have anybody else.
PTO?
Where
I
are
get a
you
vacation." And that's when I was like, "Oh, that's why.
That's
they
why I
say
got to get more than one.
that you got to keep hiring."
you just never know. I mean, that's the flexibility of being a contractor,
Contractor.
because you can
Yeah.
just up and go at
Yeah.
any time.
Oh,
it
that's
has its detriments too, because like, when people know the power of what they have, they will use it against you too, because it's like
you got stories on that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because I've.
But then you have some people that overcompensate. Like we had somebody that she was in the hospital this week, and she's like sending us a picture of the hospital record. I'm like, okay, I don't.
We're not your employee.
Yeah. I don't need.
We don't have an
you to
HR
verify.
department. And it's like,
She's like, sorry guys, I'm just so scared. I'm like, okay, but
like,
that's
we gonna
the
send you our
relationship-
prayers.
That's
Right.
also the relationships you build with them,
No
that they
doubt.
want to let you know, like, I'm not just not available tomorrow. Like I would
Yeah.
like to be there, but this
Yeah.
is what's happening.
like we-
So
I'll
you get
file
both
this in
sides
the
of it.
HR department for you.
You get both sides of it, of like some people just not caring, like, all right, I'm going tomorrow for 3 weeks. You're like, wait, and then some people that tell you way in advance, like
Yeah.
August 20th to the 30th, I'm not going to be available. It's like, okay, maybe I need to close down my books. Maybe
Yeah.
I need to readjust. So.
And the good thing is too, in the software, they could just book. They can just choose what days they'll be off.
Yeah.
So, you don't even have to worry about it. And that's the good thing about the way y'all teach it too. And so, and one thing too, just on that before we go to the next thing too, you don't have to do the independent contractors. You can also do the employee route if
Yes.
you want to do that and structure it. Because I know y'all had some students that actually did use the employee route.
Yeah.
And that's if
Yeah.
it works for you, it works for you.
Yeah, because I think when we think employees, we think automatic, like the amount of benefits and PTO and stuff. And we've learned just when hearing other people talk to us that they're like, no, we don't get benefits at other companies. That, like that people that are employees that come to us, she's like, no, I don't get any benefit. I'm like, how many hours you work? And she's like 45. I thought that at least me, I thought it was a standard that you had to provide benefits, and people say no, just like workers' comp, and that's really it.
Yeah.
Man.
So some people are just not even.
We take
so it's not
taxes
even
out,
what
we
you
give you
think it
workers'
is.
comp, and that's it.
and then that's it.
So let's talk about then actually like finding work, finding these jobs, finding the people. What are the methods that y'all teach and that y'all recommend for people to actually find work for their contractors so that the business can actually make money?
So, we do everything online, right? We tried before in 90-degree weather in Texas to walk the beat and slide the beat and slide like flyers under doors.
Wait, what is the beat?
Walking the beat
Like
is
walking
like
the beat. That's not a. That's
it's
not
a
a
cop.
phrase
It's
I
heard
a,
that.
it's a cop term, I think. When
Oh,
you're like
okay.
doing your.
We've been in the hood too long.
Yeah, it's like a cop. When cops walk the beat, they just walk in they
okay.
patrol area.
Yeah,
They
like
just
the neighborhood. Just
walk
walk
in
in
the neighborhood.
You dealing with suburban people over here.
Walking in the
So
beat.
y'all were going door to door.
We was
Yeah.
going door to
Yo,
door.
that's crazy.
And
We did that
90-something
one
degree
day for like
weather.
an hour. It was
He
good.
had on his like button down. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be
like,
going to these
so
people's
we gonna
doors.
kill it. We got flyers made. We still got those flyers. Those
Vista
prices
print-
are way off too.
Yeah, from Vista Print, and we were sliding. We did that one
We
day,
had a
maybe for
box
like
of
an hour
like
and a half.
500 flyers. We was like, we gonna go out and
Who
do
idea
this.
was this out of y'all two?
I don't know, probably his. He was
That's
eager
what
about the business.
That's why I
so-
said that.
I'm not even gonna lie. I did that too. I remember.
Are you talking going to the commercial business?
Yeah, when I was trying to do commercial, I would like, get off work and go walk around business centers and literally, I got like 2 customers out of it, but it was like a very low ROI. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wouldn't
And you got
recommend
when you think about
Exactly.
stuff like that, and you took it to ROI. I was just happy if we would have got anybody to call in. We had no way to track it either.
Yeah,
number
we
one.
just
Yeah.
it
we
just
wouldn't even
wasn't
know
good.
if we made money.
But we
from
do
it.
everything online is what we suggest to get clients. And I know people always worry about getting the clients, but getting the clients is the easy part.
It is
Would
so
you agree?
easy.
I say getting the clients is the easy part.
Yeah.
They find you once you have social proof. They'll find you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we mostly use like Yelp and SEO along, Google and stuff
You could do
like that.
Google
That's-
Ads. You could do Google Local Services. You could even, if you want to do like free methods, you go to Nextdoor. You said you find people on Craigslist. You can find people looking for work on Craigslist.
Thumbtack, Next
Thumbtack.
Advice. Was it? Is it
Home
Next
Advisor.
Angie's
Home
List,
Advisor.
Home Advisor.
Angie's List, yeah.
Anywhere you would look for any local service is exactly where we would post or recommend you finding them. But right now, they find us all Google. We're on the top of Google for multiple keywords. Dallas cleaner, maids in Dallas, things like that, and then just Yelp.
Yeah.
Now you continue to get more clients. Like your business starts to scale. You get more cleaners, so you got more clients. So you got more business. Now you got more phone calls. and you work this 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
People are wondering
How?
how.
How?
So
Because
when
that
we,
phone was ringing.
when we
all
first
day.
started, when the phone was ringing, I was running out of meetings, and Janilca was at home.
Yeah, I was at home because the position I was in, I was on the phone 24/7, so I had no room to pick up the phone. But then I changed positions. But we answered our own phones. Maybe I don't know 8 months. I'm not sure exactly when. When it became too much, then we hired a virtual assistant, went on pause, and hired again. We were back and forth with
Different VA companies.
different VA companies and what worked and what didn't work. And then finally, after the pandemic, well, not after, I guess we're still in it. Last year, when things started to open back up and business started to go up again, is when we hired another virtual assistant company, which they ran it like a call center, which is a little different because when you have a personal virtual assistant, it's way more money. It's very expensive. So we were doing that, and then at the beginning of this year, that company was closing down.
So we
And
bought
so Tony was like, "We should buy." I said, "Nope."
it. Again,
No, ma'am.
again, back to the idea.
No, man. I'm like, we are barely surviving here with everything else we're trying to do: content, courses, cleaning business,
This was this
other
year.
business. This is this year.
This is this year. Yeah.
This year, and I'm like, listen, he's finally.
So, when they start doing this, listen.
I was like, no. And so
No.
he's like,
Like,
I think we
you
could
know
do
you
it. I
ain't
think we
finna
could
get
do it. I'm
nothing.
like, sleep on it. I don't think we could do it. Sleep on it. Came back again. I'm like, all right, listen. This is what we're gonna do. I am 35%. You're 65%. I was like, so owner. Literally, I was like, I wrote it on the whiteboard. I'm like, this is my percentage. This is how
That was
much
our
I'm gonna give
contract.
into it. So
That's an
and we brought
operating
that.
agreement
Yo.
too.
Yeah. Fine with me. Fine with me.
That's yeah.
So then we got the virtual assistant business to continue to run our business along with other.
And the main reason was that I didn't want to go back to what we was doing in the business. I didn't want to pick up phone calls.
Yeah,
I
he's-
didn't want to look for virtual assistants. I'm like, yo, listen, I see the value in this company. It's
Yeah,
like
he-
stocks. It's like you see the value in something, you buy it.
Yeah,
You see
man.
a business, you buy it. There was value in
and
it.
the reason that I think I also said yes is that business had an operations manager.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't, it would be exactly what we're doing with the cleaning businesses. So
Yeah.
since that business had an operations manager where we really didn't need to be as hands-on, I'm like, okay, give me the 35%.
And she and our operations manager, we give her full control over it. Even the last, we were very hands-on owners. Like they loved that about us because the last owners they had, fantastic people, but they needed more people. They needed more of the ownership, see their faces more often. So they know all about us. They seen our YouTubes. They Googled us. They know where I work. So they have some sort of understanding of our personalities and what our larger goals are in life.
Yeah.
We had someone that joined our IG Live. They hear us talking about them all the time. So they understand more about us than their previous owners. So I'll be on it. Like the last meeting we had on, you didn't join that meeting. Thursday. The operations manager like, I want to have a team meeting. I was like, go ahead. She's like, you want me to run it? I was like, no, it's yours. I'm gonna sit on it. I didn't say nothing in that meeting. I just showed my face. I was like, any points you want me to talk on, I'll talk on. But I just sat in that meeting. I was like, all right, guys, I gotta go. It's good talking to them. But we've realized that type of business, it could scale. It could scale crazy too.
Yeah.
We raised their prices. We pretty much we stabilized things. We came in. We changed the call system that they had because it was terrible. We went from one system to the other, so we stabilized that. We had a few clients who were kind of shaky with their systems. Like, listen, we don't want these as clients, so we're gonna raise the price, get them out the door. So we raised the price twice.
Twice maybe.
It was like $400 a month, I think, and we raised it to like $900 a month per client. So we did that.
Wow.
Came in, stabilized the price, stabilized the client base, and now we got plenty of money to pay our people, plenty of money to take some money from the business if we wanted to. But again,
Yeah, that's just staying in there
keeping
for
that money
now.
in the business because we don't need it. We want to hire. Now we got plenty of virtual assistants on that team. They're like, are you guys planning on getting more clients on us? I want to bring on clients when we can over-service the ones we have so that when we bring the next clients on, we're ready to go. So we got like 3-4 new people still trying to figure things out. So that was kind of like the goal with that. And we only service cleaning businesses. So it's like our own little ecosystem we got happening here.
Yep.
So let me ask then, because one thing about having, because y'all bought the business, so they were already doing
Running.
things a certain way, right? So, and that's one thing I'm big on too, in terms of like even me, like because I just said I hired an operations manager for my business specifically. The reason I decided to do that just versus going the VA route for me personally was just based off the fact that, like I said, she's malleable and she's raw. She doesn't have any preconceived notions or anything like that. So it's like, was that a factor actually for, like, because how do they actually like do things in terms of like for the clients that they have? Do they do things based off what the clients want, or do they do things based off y'all's standards? that
That's
y'all
a good
created?
question.
So it's a combination, which I actually said to him the other day that that's the reason why we raised the price, because they do things a lot more adjusted to the client than they should, in my opinion.
A lot more than they should.
Yeah, I feel like things need to be a bit more standard because it's a call center. It's not your personal virtual
Right.
assistant. If you want your personal virtual assistant, you need to pay that money,
Yeah.
and they're not paying that money.
Right.
So a lot of things are tweaked to the client, but some things we have to go in and be like, no, that's
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that because our virtual assistants are so flexible and they do so much. And I'm like, it's not about you being flexible because people would take advantage of that. So we can't have you continue to do that. But So yeah, it is kind of both of it, and we try to intervene and say like, yeah, no, they're doing too much for this client.
And then remember,
like cut that.
We also used multiple companies before we acquired this company,
Yeah,
so we
that's how we
know
knew.
know they're good. Like
yeah,
we
that's how we knew they're giving way more because we've had a virtual assistant company that they was just
answering phones and sending us messages. That was
Yeah.
it for $1,100 a month.
Yeah.
And we knew that they were for $400 a month. We're getting all of this.
Yeah.
So we was like, nah, we gonna raise this. So when they were talking about eventually closing the business, we was like, nah, we gonna buy this business.
Right.
Well, I was like, we gonna buy this business. So when we came in, we didn't change anything that they were already doing.
Right.
We just kind of tried to rein it
Systems
in
and
a
get
little
it-
bit.
yeah.
We was like, all right, y'all doing a lot of this. Let's keep it this.
Yeah.
This way, bring it back. I'm sorry because we got on a podcast, but bring it back in, rein it in a little bit more so that you can provide a semi-customized solution to your clients without giving them full one-on-one experience,
Yeah.
which is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So, and then we realized too that now that at the point we would need a virtual assistant and an operations manager. Like we need both.
Really?
For our
we
business.
feel we need both for our business because I forgot when you Google it because it kind of gets blurred sometimes, right? But when you Google it, it's like the virtual assistant is the doer and operation manager kind of is the one that dictates or something like that. It's just something like we can't see like our operation manager picking up the phone call.
Yeah.
So
compared
he
to
that person would manage the VAs.
they would manage our VA or just customer concerns. Like, our VA has to come to us sometimes about like the client is saying this. Instead of that, they will go to the operations
Yeah.
manager.
So it pretty
right?
much
So it's
removes
like-
you. 100%.
Yeah.
It removes us
That
100%.
separates you one more degree from
Yes,
the business.
and we understand that because it's a profit, but we try to tell people sometimes getting
Oh,
people
no.
in place
Buy your time back.
buying your time back, but also expands more. You grow even more a lot of times when you get people into systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
And we would love to bring our goal with the VA business is to start funneling them to our cleaning business because, like you said, you want somebody who knows your stuff.
Yeah.
They know a lot about a lot, but we want them to know they know a lot about a little, but we want them to know a lot about a lot of stuff that we have going on.
And so that's
And we could hop on a phone and sell a client a lot easier than they can because it's kind of
because they're working in other businesses.
yes,
you know?
they don't know like, all right, I know I can get this customer $20 off because the deep clean is not gonna be that much money because of this, that, and the third.
Size.
So but they can't do that because they don't have that autonomy in our business itself. So that's the goal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Ziggy VA if anyone's interested.
Yes, sir. I got to hit on this big time because a lot of people just do not value this enough. When you say you're buying back your time, this is the reason you build businesses.
Right.
I'm not building a business to work in it forever. At some point, I'm gonna remove myself completely. That means that if I may take a short pay cut in the interim time, but by me removing myself, I can continue to put more systems and more people into place that will scale it even further. That's gonna pay me more to live the lifestyle that I built this business for in the first place. Most people are too concerned about the money, not concerned enough about the time. Let go of the money, and you'll gain the time back, and you'll gain more money because you have more time to put more systems into place.
And I went back
Agreed.
after we left that meeting last night. I was like, we're going to go pay our VAs more just because we want to make sure that they know, like, we want people who are in this business to be in it, to win with us. So I was like, let's go pay them more. Like, it's not hurting our pockets by paying them more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You give them a couple more dollars. Now they could do, like, it was an event space conversation, and then they were like, if we paid, it was like an operations manager, like, if I paid you more, would you find a way to expand your abilities more all of a sudden magically, right? And she's like, yeah, I definitely could. You pay me more, I could definitely do more.
Of
I was
course.
like, hey,
Money
how it
talks.
works. Money talks.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go back and pay our team a little bit more so that they could magically find space to expand a little bit.
Yeah. No,
And
that's, go ahead.
That goes back to valuing your people, though, because you see the value in them, because
Yeah.
these people are the reason that I'm able to not have to do any of this work.
Right.
So if I continue
Right.
to value you, you're going to continue to want to pour back into me. You talked about the cleaner earlier that was sending you the medical receipts, like, hey, I'm in here, I promise you.
I promise
Don't
you.
fire me.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That's
too.
what it was. I'm like, this is not like you always calling out or anything like that. Do what you have to do. We're going to pray for you.
That's what we
Because
did.
you value them, they value what you do so much that they don't want to. They don't even depart from you. So that's the beauty of valuing people, because it's going to pay back tenfold tenfold for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nah, that's I've seen that firsthand too, and that's why it's like, you know, even paying the cleaners too, like they know, like, man, they have a golden opportunity working with, you know, this business, right? And that's what you want your people to know. It's like, you not gonna get this anywhere else, or you're gonna be very hard pressed. I mean, you talking about like, I'm getting cursed out by the boss. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
But they say it all the time. Like, this person is nasty to me, or just said something to me, or cursed me out. I hang up the phone because it's too much. I'm like, what? I can't imagine that.
yeah, that's
I
wild.
can't imagine that, but it happens. It happens.
And that's because, you know, a lot of the people that, you know, it's just about finding good people, because when you find good people, you want to make sure that you hold on to them, because they don't come around
Nope.
often, so they really don't, like, they're rare. Like, I'd be surprised when someone's like, because
Somebody's good.
yeah, like, because my processes are different. Like, now I'm not saying I don't do test cleans, but sometimes I don't do them just based on, like, for example, in Austin, when I just started that one, I'm not going to Austin all the
Obviously.
time to do that. So what I'll just do is just, you know, have them go to customer's house, do a job. Obviously, after I've done the background check and all that before, but I'll have them go there, do the job.
Get the feedback from the
Get the
client.
feedback.
Right. I'm gonna know if they're good at, you know.
We
after
was
that
telling
first
somebody
job.
that I was like, I wouldn't give them a 3-4 deep. You know,
Yeah.
for the first job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you haven't test cleaned them, but you can do
Yeah.
a 1-1. You
We
can
have
do a
people,
deep.
we have people asking like,
You can
"How's
see.
Alex doing this in Austin?" It's like, he's not in Austin. Like, you can
There's
do
other
this.
ways. But that's the
I
thing.
was like, you don't have
like,
to take exactly what we did and
right.
do it.
That's what we say. Like, we teach the business, but you could use your own thing. Like, you can do other
Common
things.
sense,
right?
too.
You can do other things.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just
Drop
this
to
way.
Austin.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't have to be just this way. You can expand on that.
By the way,
as well.
I did drive there for the first one. It ended up being a waste of my time.
Oh,
I'm sure it
no.
would have been.
she
Living
How
ended
many
up
hours was that?
it was about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Not that
yeah.
far.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Well, Austin is a good city. Hope you have fun.
yeah, I mean, not really, but she ended up flaking. So
Okay.
Oh,
but like I said, the thing about it is, because a lot of people can get discouraged about the hiring aspect of it, because it might not come as, I mean, fortunately for me, it came from word of mouth for the first one. Like, once you
Right.
get the first one, that's a good one, then you'll see the value like a lot more, because it's like, oh shoot, okay. Like, when you call a customer and they're actually happy,
Yeah.
Like, oh, this could actually work.
yeah, it's like, oh, okay, this is how this is done, right? So I can actually provide a good quality service. And like, now that became my motivation for everything. It's like I said, even on the live, I said my goal was never to have like the most amount of like reviews or cleanings or whatever. It's to have the most high 5-star reviews, like highly rated cleanings, because I know, like, and it's crazy because I even been seeing it this week. People been calling, and when they call, like, now they're saying, "Hey, I heard like you're one of the best in the town," right? Because word spreads.
Yeah.
People tell them, and like, now I get a lot of customers that are like, "Yeah, my cousin used you, or my you know, this person used you, and y'all did an amazing job." And it's like, that's why I focus so much.
Word of mouth is free.
Yeah, and that's the best thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
you don't got to pay for that lead.
right,
For
right,
sure.
and that's why the business is amazing too, with the recurring revenue too, because it's like, you know, I mean, you know, to be making, it's like rent. It's like you could market for, you know, that tenant on Zillow or whatever the case may be for that first time, but you know, they got a lease for a year. With this one, it's, they don't really have a lease, but if you provide a good service, they don't want to stop.
Yeah.
You-
You're gonna keep it up when they see the value.
Right.
Every
And-
time you come, this is like, my house smells amazing. It
Right.
feels good.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
a whole different vibe when your house is clean. If you
Man, we
haven't
never-
gotten
It
a house
really
cleaner
is.
before, listeners,
Man,
it's
listen.
a whole different
Let's
vibe.
talk
I-
about
that's
that
just
for a
true,
little
though.
bit too,
This
because
is a whole different vibe.
listen, if you've never had a professional house
Yeah,
clean,
yeah, yeah.
we have our house cleaned pretty frequently, but that's one of the benefits too.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah,
get
for
free
sure.
house
You get your
cleanings.
free house clean.
Test clean.
Them test cleans.
You get free, and you get. But when you're talking about having a professional come into your house, you are getting back time in your day,
Yes.
scrubbing toilets, cleaning the floors,
Dog
mopping,
hair.
waxing, dog hair. You're getting time back in your day. So when people come to you, you're like, why would somebody pay for a house clean? Why would they pay so much money? You're getting back time. This is a luxury service.
Listen, I talk about that when we live in an apartment, but I'm like, you get that 3,000 square foot home, no way. I am cleaning that.
Exactly.
Right.
Could you imagine that with a dog
a
and
mom,
kids?
and most of the moms and
That's just a
dads
lot.
that come to us, or people in general, they're like, I want to get my time back most of the time.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I've never cleaned. I want to get a house cleaner.
They're
It's
out of
like,
town, they
go.
come back to the house clean or just whatever.
It,
but
it just puts you in a whole different vibe, a whole different energy.
I agree.
The first time I had my house clean was when I started a business.
He's like, I'll be honest.
So I ain't had no cleans before that.
Man, she
We
came
first started getting a house because we moved down to Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was like, dang, this is actually, I could get used to this.
Yeah,
And-
right.
and that's what it is, because like the thing is, you're selling to the customers, you're giving them an experience,
It's experience,
right?
right.
And if you can give them a great experience from like inception in their head to like,
Booking
oh,
the cleaner.
yeah, to actually getting someone there into their house, they're going to you occupy the mind share as the go-to cleaner. Like they're not going to forget you because most
and you
people
speak
don't
about that too
do
with
it often.
contracts, and we speak about that's where we like, the contractors, they just clean. A lot of people, some of them know that it's a full experience, but then there's some people that just clean, and you have to explain like. It's not just about like, because some people are like, well, I cleaned this so well. It's like, it's not just about that. Like, how did you respond? What did you say when you walk in? Did you say goodbye when you left? It's a full on experience for people. It's customer service. So,
and that's why, that's also why, that's when having employees benefit you.
Yeah.
Because now they have to do things your way, right? And typically, I mean, you could still try to do it like that with contractors, but they're not obligated to do anything your way. They could do whatever you want. They don't have to go to the job if they don't want to, technically.
Employees don't got to go either.
That's true.
You'll be out of there.
You'll be done.
The higher
I
consequences
had
for
employees
that.
not show up to work, no call, no show, and my 9 to 5. So it's the same thing at the contractor or employee could do it.
They treat it the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, how you no call, no show to a job?
Not at this big age.
Oh, for real.
The big age, the little age, the middle age, they do it. And that's the thing. Like people kind of look at this and they think it's a quick fast thing, but it's not. It's really building a business from scratch and seeing it grow to what it can be.
I don't think that people really know what a business entails anyway,
man.
right? Because in this day and age, you just hear entrepreneurship, but like, what does that even entail? What does it look like really? If someone isn't teaching you what a business entails, how do you even know? So I think that people just have this perception of like, okay, we speak about that, the good and bad of social media. It's like it exposes you to so much, but then it exposes you to too much because you're thinking like, well, then why am I not doing what they're doing? Or, why am I not able to do this? And it's kind of like
when we posted Alex in Miami Beach and his sandals out making
and
money.
And
people
like,
people started buying
did
the
you take the course?
and
Did you
I'm
listen?
like,
It went crazy after that?
It went crazy.
Nice.
And we was like, listen, let's put. We went to live. I think we did live that day
Or something. You put a post.
I did a post like, nah,
Wait
let's
a
not
minute.
do that.
Everybody is not going to be Alex.
My goal with posting on social media is not to entice you to buy the course, but I want to give you the full picture,
the realistic
of what,
picture,
what you're walking into.
Yeah.
So a lot of my posts are like, wow, you guys seem so negative or something. Like, we went on IG Live, yesterday, the day before?
No, it was July 5th, and it was a hard day. It was just a day we were a lot of hands-on. It was just things going wrong. And so we were speaking about it.
That was one day, and the other day we went live when we talked about when we almost quit the business.
Yeah, and then somebody on that July 5th, they just was like, well, if these are the lows, what are the highs? I'm like, are you new here? Because we talk about the highs all the time, right?
I would be pissed.
But the goal is to weed those people out who see those horror stories and I'm on the fence. Should I buy this? I'm like, if you hear this horror story and you're like, I don't want to do it,
then
don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do business though in general, because
business.
all businesses have issues. I'm like, you don't think Red Lobster be having issues? You don't think Pepsi and Walmart, when Pepsi did the thing with Kendall with the wrong mark, like everyone has issues. You just have to figure it out in a business. That's simply it. If you don't want to figure it out in a business, don't get into
That's really
any
my
business.
goal with social media is to weed people out.
Yeah.
Like, from buying it. Like, nah, this might not be
This
the
might
course
not be for you.
And people in this thing, people ask questions in the DMs and
talk
it's like
about it.
Quick question.
quick questions. And like certain questions you ask is like, yo, where can I find the link? I'm like, you probably shouldn't buy the course.
No.
Yeah, because the link is there. It's
The
in my
link
link
is there.
tree.
And it was like, so what's the guarantee? Like, you probably shouldn't buy this.
Ain't no guarantees.
There's
in
a
life.
few questions that people ask. I'm like, I say it in a way where I want to be nice about it, but I want to make sure you understand this may not be for you if you're asking those type of questions. And I want to make them understand that.
All you're doing is highlighting that person's mindset and why they may not be as successful as somebody that has the right mindset. So do you think about Alex? When you see somebody like him that takes a second year course,
that was easy.
He's hungry. Like, I just want the
was
information.
easy.
Give me the information because I'm about to go run with it. The difference is that he has an entrepreneur mentality. A true entrepreneur is going to be able to think
I'ma
independently,
make it work.
Figure it out.
and going to figure things out. I don't have to use your thing I don't have to use your course to a T, and that's going to be my entire business. My business is not going to be your business. Your business is not going to be my business. I'm going to go out and build something, and I'm going to put my own imprint on it. I'm going to leave my own imprint on this country, and I'm going to expand to wherever I see myself growing. Y'all were the blueprint that gave me the necessary first steps. But from then on, I'm going to continue and expand
Your
and
own
think.
style, your own way.
I'm going to create my own business from that. A lot of people don't have that because they think as an employee trying to get into this business, and that's what the people
That's
in
like
that.
our website person is like a few people come to me and say we want our website to look just like theirs.
Exactly.
And I'm like, what? Like duplicated? And he's like, you shouldn't copy their website. You shouldn't copy their website. Like
Google will block you, number one.
like you shouldn't do that.
Because when you think about it, an employee never has to be the visionary. They're not the thinker.
Yeah.
The entrepreneur, that's your sole job, to be the thinker. So that's why when somebody's asking you, where's the link at? Can I make my website just like yours? Can whatever other quick questions that they have.
My business.
No, Alex is.
Where do I go
Can
to
I
get
have your
that?
SOPs?
That's what I was going to say.
Can I have your
When I was on the live,
SOPs?
it's like, hey, how much for your SOPs? I'm like,
Yeah.
Those type of
These are
Before I
questions.
go to get a LLC, I'm like, well, this is
You can't Google certain things.
Google.
You might not be a business owner, which
Yeah.
is fine.
Which is
fine.
These are the kind of questions that differentiate the ones that are true employees versus the ones that can potentially be business owners.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a level of independence in your thought process and be able to figure things out on your own, because problems will arise.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you're not ready to handle those problems, this is not for you.
yeah.
Amen.
But that's why y'all got the community, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it helps. But one thing, I was in the community for about the first 4 months, and I started getting hounded with questions on the side.
I bet.
And they was like coming to me, was like, yo, like this, and this. And I was like, I'm fine answering questions, but it got really like bad. Like it was like, all right, yo, y'all are really tripping, because it's like the community was set up for
the questions that you ask.
right, and it's like, I'm not the one that's number one. I'm not even getting paid for the community. Let's keep it 100. So
For sure.
like, I don't.
No commission on the side.
Yeah, like, I had calls with people. I had like side,
No return on
conversations,
time.
all of that, and it was
No
just like,
return.
oh,
Yeah.
come on. So but that's I want y'all to kind of talk about that, just that aspect of it, because I know that's going to help a lot of people that when they are getting started, because a lot of people, they don't think like entrepreneurs, so they need that, kind of assistance that help to get things started and keep things going.
Yeah, when we first started the business itself, we were in a community, and it totally changed over the years as we grew. One of our biggest challenges starting on was we saw people with these big numbers, and the bigger the numbers got, the more discouraged we got from where we could get to in our business. So as we grew, we saw that community change, and I saw myself in those people starting off the business, asking those basic questions. And the people who had those really big numbers started kind of condescending those people who look like me starting off in their business. And we was like, we don't want to have a community where people don't feel comfortable asking those entry level questions. But we also didn't have the time to answer everyone individually via direct messages or on the side. So we created the community that we wanted to see that would have been helpful for us when we started, or helpful to the entrepreneurs that came behind us in that community, where they couldn't get their questions answered, and they were kind of fearful to ask their questions because everyone was so big and so glorious with their numbers. They didn't want to answer those basic questions. So that's why we created the community.
And then a lot of times when people get the chorus, they're like, are we going to be able to be in touch with you after? I'm like,
one guy was like, well, I have ultimate access to you. He
No,
said,
ma'am.
What was he said? Ultimate,
Unlimited?
unlimited.
yeah.
I was
No.
like, what does that even mean, bro?
No one
That's dangerous.
Matter of fact, I just saw
That sounds dangerous.
No.
Will I have unlimited access to you guys? Like, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah, so
And you know what they're looking at you as? The boss. That's all that is.
So the community basically provides a community, so you can ask your questions, and many people are starting out just like you, or some people in the middle, and so we go on Zoom calls, do Q&As, things like that, having experts come in the community and stuff like that to talk. Because I understand having questions after, like we said, that DM thing is just not it. I can't answer every question.
But if we answer one
so-
question in the community,
Everybody gets
sees
to see it.
Yeah.
Versus I
And
answer
you might have
your-
had that question, just didn't know
Don't
how to
answer
say
it
it.
to
or,
me personally.
Yeah,
Like,
answer to you
somebody else
personally.
has the same question. More
Yeah,
than likely.
Exactly.
You're being
And
selfish
then
with
also,
your-
like Alex did, he came in the community. He was in there for, 4 or 6 months or something like that. But we want you to be at that point where you feel comfortable. Like, all right, I got the.
It's like a trainer.
Yeah.
You don't need a trainer
Yeah.
forever.
Like you learn the knowledge. Now you can take the workouts and do it on your own.
Yeah.
Like now we got another group of people in there that's gonna come do their own thing for 6 months. They're gonna come in there, get the knowledge, and then they're gonna go do their own thing. And that's the goal of it. We don't want to be holding your hand for an entire
Year.
2-3 years.
Like,
But
you still in here?
but the
Some
goal would
people
be.
are in it. I think they just maybe just like to be in it. Because some people, some people that just talk all the time in the community, like just engages.
Yeah.
So they just like it to be able to answer questions. That, I never thought about that. And that's another thing too. We can learn from other people as they
No
do
doubt.
things.
Oh
and
yeah,
follow other ideas.
somebody
We're like, okay, that's
somebody
not
just
bad.
mentioned Google
So-
leads, Google local services. I'm like, I forgot all about that, and we went back to it and started booking leads immediately. But
so
the
it's
goal
been
would
some
be
of
just
that.
to get people, just to have a community, just to talk, answer questions. Like we even need that community sometimes. We talk about when we had our debt-free journey, we got to the last 40,000 or something like that, and we created a whole delete the debt community just so we could have like-minded people to help us kind of push through because it got boring. It got boring. We was like, it kind of got boring paying off debt. So we created a whole community to help people pay off debt and kind of push us. It was really selfish reason to do it, but we wanted to push ourselves to that end goal, but it also helped people pay off debt. And that was really the reason that we kind of started that. So community is also very helpful too.
No doubt.
Yeah. And how many people are in there now? Just curious.
I think 80.
82, 80.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, since
Bro,
we moved
it was
over.
like 6 people when I was in.
Yeah. Well, before we moved over to a new platform, but before we left there,
okay.
we had about 40 to 50.
Damn.
But
Yeah.
now, since we
$20
moved over, we have about
40.
80. Go from there.
He said, "Oh." He said, that. "Oh."
That's one of the things the business coach gave us. She's like,
Hey.
listen, we're gonna have you if you got you
Go ahead and do this.
pocket watching right there.
I got to.
That's what he do. You feel
So,
better?
so one of the things the coach was saying was like, my thing was I kept wanting to bring value. I wanted to go on calls every day. I wanted to do this.
I think
wanted
we
to
should do
that.
2 times a week. I'm like, you're doing that by yourself.
I was like, I want to go.
I'm not
I want
doing
to make
that.
sure
I
I'm
am
giving them more
not-
value.
My thing is, I can't keep adding to the plate.
That's-
That's
I
the
feel
biggest
you.
thing.
You
That's
doing
why,
it by yourself.
that's why I keep saying maybe if an operation manager comes into place for our cleaning business, we'll have a bit more time to do more. But that's my thing. I can add on more once things are off. Like, you can't just keep throwing on more for me. So
I'm finna go into it now. All right, then, Miss. I don't want to add no more to my plate.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about it. You still got these. You got 2.
yeah, I do.
Ooh,
Maintain them
9 to
between
5.
Yeah.
So explain to me the rationale behind this, because you have a cleaning business, you also have the VA business, and you
35%.
and you
35%. Make that clear.
With your significant other who has the other 65, so it's not like it's going to somebody else.
That's the issue. That's the issue. You
Still
gotta-
in-house.
You still got to turn around in the room and be like, what you think about this? I'm like, 35%. That ain't part of me.
But yes, but no, this you're gaining a level of success where I'm sure the business is bringing in ample more than the 9 to 5s, both of them combined. So what is the attachment now, especially when you're valuing time as much as you are? What is the attachment?
The attachment probably just has been the security of it, to be honest. And I always say, like, our 9 to 5s are very flexible, both of us. And it never felt like, oh, I hate it here, I dread it. You know what I mean? So I feel like if we had those feelings, then it would be way easier to be like, okay, goodbye.
Let me tell you.
Then also for me, how you gonna say what I
No,
feel?
you gonna get into
How
it.
you gonna feel? Hello?
I'm just gonna put a number on the table right quick.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Very transparent. Our numbers was on Business Insider, so we're gonna give you all the numbers.
Sure.
Ooh.
From we make $15,000 a month as a household.
Outside of our businesses.
That's 9 to 5. We made that in less than a week
Exactly.
in our business,
Yeah.
multiple times over.
It is.
high income earners, we understand. But that part of it,
This the mirror.
And that's
I
no,
like
excuse me.
this
That's
mirror.
take home. That's take home too. 15,000
This is
take
take home. This is
So we make that in less than a week
um,
for multiple months at a time now.
and then also,
So-
I got my master's. I paid a lot of money for this damn degree.
Which is paid off. Which is paid off.
Which is paid off. I agree. So that's part of the security
Identity.
and identity. Yes, security, identity. I don't think I've ever, and I don't think growing up I've never thought of not having a job.
Right.
Same thing with the debt. I never thought of not paying the debt. Like
Yeah.
the debt just was going to be there, part of my life. Who was paying $68,000? Not me.
So how long until
But-
y'all are both 9 to 5 free?
How long?
Let's
We
take
don't
one
know.
at a time. Let's go one at a time.
We don't know how long. Anthony probably would be a little quicker than I will be, but we don't know how long.
A better
exactly.
question is, what number, if there's a number at all, would make you feel comfortable enough to say, I have enough security from what I've built on my own?
Yeah, there is no
There's
number.
no number.
There's no number.
Because we
there-
thought we had
$1 million
a
a
number.
day wouldn't.
You said what?
$1 million a day.
Not $1
So
million
Anthony,
a day.
no, it's okay. So that means there's a number somewhere in there. So let's identify. It's 500,000 a day. Not enough.
That's a lot of money.
Now
We
let's-
don't
let's
have
skip-
the number.
scaling it back. So that's too much.
He's trying to figure out what that number is.
100,000 a day.
I don't even know. Maybe 100,000 a month. Who knows?
100,000. I think we can
make.
make that happen.
We think so too. By the end of this year, actually, we think we can
like
make
We
that
were
is a
that
very,
very
we were
strong
very
possi-
close last month.
Yeah. We think we can make that happen too. But there's no rationally, I understand. There's no like reason as to why you would really be there. But those are my excuses, if you want to say, or reasons why. So that security, that being scared, that identity, that's part of my thing at least.
I could definitely see the identity
So-
thing because you've been known or you've considered yourself one person for
consider
so
myself,
long.
yeah.
And now you have to pretty much switch over everything as far as your personal identity. It's
Yeah.
like it's that leap is going to be very hard to take. It's,
Right.
Especially it's because it's really more so mental than anything else. It's like I just don't like having that new sense of identity definitely comes with it. But now my new question.
And I'm old. I feel like if I was younger, it may be a little easier, right? Because you haven't been in the game that long, you know what I mean? So I feel like
that adds to it.
Younger, maybe a little easier. But
so I think the real thing is trying to identify what do I want to be known for in the future. Like what do I aspire to do outside of the 9 to 5 even? Because a lot of people, especially like you said, growing up, I never considered myself not having a 9 to 5 because we're already trained to already think 9 to 5 is going to be as soon as I hit age 20 or for age 12. As soon as I hit that age, I'm working until 65. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee. Now you never even think about what would life be like if I didn't have to work, because that conversation comes up so often when you tell a 9 to 5er I'm about to retire at age 25 or 30. They're like, yo, what are you about to do all your time?
Benefits, insurance. That's seriously what people say. What are you gonna do about insurance?
Right. So they have all these questions because they never even envision themselves outside of it. So I think that really, when you really dig into it and start thinking, what can my life be like, and just start answering that question to yourself, then that's when you can start really accepting a new reality, because you never put thought into it. It never happened. So now you still like are some sort of fearful of it. But once you put that thought into it, now possibilities start to arise.
I agree.
And then with me, it was like you mentioned identity a lot, and my identity used to be I was the youngest director, worked my way up, got it out the mud at the company, one of the only black directors there, and now I'm still the youngest director. I was the youngest person, still the youngest director at the company, and my identity is not that anymore. Now I don't even I'm a director, but now it's like, I'm like, I don't have that identity anymore because it's so much more.
I think because you see the potential outside of it, right?
I know that I've changed enough lives at my company. I know what I've done. I know my limit, and I know that there is only so much I can do there. And I think I've already reached the max there. So I don't have that identity as a young black director killing it. I don't have that anymore because I know I'm impacting a lot more lives outside the job.
That's huge. So that boils down to purpose. And when you have purpose is the key word with all that, because now you've identified a new purpose. Your purpose before was just to like be that young director, to be the young person that's killing it. Now my purpose is I want to impact lives. And now your activity will follow your purpose. And so when you think about cleaning business, when you think about everything you've been able to do with that, teaching people how to do it, that's all impacting lives, which is in line with your purpose, which makes you a lot more comfortable with letting go of something that's not following your purpose.
We had someone who just said that was their first family business that was started, and she's like, I just got my LLC. I was like, I remember we first got ours. I was really, I've done that paperwork, I don't know how many times at this point, but she's like, I just got my first LLC. I'm the first person in my family that's like really starting a business. I'm like, that is life-changing information right there. I was like, because I remember that for us when we first did that. So that's the type of impact. Now I give raises, promotions, bonuses, all that stuff. It's dope, get people where they want to be, but that type of change is way different.
That's the fact that purpose and identity is huge. Because I too remember, and we're going to wrap up in a minute, but I remember too whenever, because growing up, it was always for me, it's like, yo, I just want to, I always said I want to just be rich. Like that was just always what I want. I
don't care how I get there.
I just need to be rich. Like,
and don't get there.
And and it's just like, I don't know how it's going to be. I remember even in high school, I told Marlon, I was like, because we were both studying engineering, I said we should start our own engineering firm. He wasn't hearing none of that.
I'm not surprised.
And then after I graduated, it was like, okay, cool. I just want to, climb up the corporate ladder and get paid a lot. Then I guess, right? 2 weeks into that
that sounded good for 2 weeks.
After I saw what actually working a job was. But no, that having that is huge though. But man, this has been amazing. Marlon, was there anything else you want to get into?
I'm all good. I told her I was going to have that therapy session with her, but
now that therapy is over, Dr. Walls.
We get my certification.
This is the reason I was so excited about this episode though is because right now I think we live in a culture where like it's easy to glorify. Well, I mean, it's always been like this. You back growing up and even I guess forever, you glorify like celebrities and athletes and musicians and those kind of people that are like doing big things in those industries, right? Because that's what you see, right? But now we're in this era of social media where it's like, I really believe entrepreneurs are becoming like rock stars in their own way. So, and I look at y'all, it's like y'all are like the LeBron and Savannah.
I'll take it. Can I be Jay-Z and Beyonce?
I was gonna say that.
Beyonce's my girl.
Jay.
I'll take LeBron too. He's supposed to be a billionaire.
Yeah. And that's
a lot of businesses.
That's kind of what y'all are in this space too, in terms of entrepreneurship too. And I think y'all are growing, fast. You're getting more notoriety on social media as y'all should, as y'all like focus on, y'all's niche. And it's just gonna continue to blow up. Like this is just really the beginning for y'all. That's the way I see it. Cause I mean, I know y'all are doing well for yourselves, but it's based on some of the things and a little bit of pocket.
Some of these
pocket
numbers
watching.
you've been looking at.
Yeah. I know y'all are doing well, so it's definitely y'all finna be up.
But if you, I mean, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, well, last weekend. But I mean, you guys too, like your age and where you are now, you have the same information we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
10 years ago, pretty much. Like,
Wait, how old are y'all? Let me see.
25.
that
Child.
is crazy. If I had this mindset 10 years ago, never mind. Yo, I hope y'all
We
just
talk about it,
I hope
25
y'all-
years, we was
I
buying
hope y'all-
Henny.
I just hope y'all show love 10 years from now. Please.
Oh, big time, man.
Please come back and find
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
No, man.
Y'all
This,
gonna be up.
I'm just happy to have y'all in our network too, because this is just like it's amazing to be able to just connect with y'all and finally get to meet y'all. I met you last week, but it's finally good to meet y'all because I know we're gonna be talking a lot more, especially obviously being in the cleaning business. Hopefully when my business is up there too and y'all's is too, we'll be at those cleaning business networking events.
All the black people there.
Yeah, it's the big dogs.
Y'all need to be one of hosting them. Forget that.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna be the
Cleaning
ones setting it
summit.
up.
Y'all need to be a host for that.
Right. So, man, this has just been a super treat, and we appreciate y'all so much for coming down here and getting on the podcast too, because this has been a long time coming, and y'all gave so much game today, and this was not even a fraction of like everything that was like even in the first iteration of the course I took. So, if y'all want to learn more about it, get into the business, and it's definitely
cleaningbusinessuniversity.com where they can find it.
I don't know how that domain wasn't even taken, but
for real.
That's where you can find more information.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, man. Marlon, did you want to say anything? before
I'm
we
all good to go.
close? Cool. Man, this has been dope. Hour and a half in, it's about that time. So usually I have my outro, but I don't have it memorized right now. So
I close this out. Then you want to hit the fast five with him?
yeah, we could do it real quick.
Yeah.
It'll take like probably 30 seconds,
Yeah,
1
go
minute.
on.
So yeah, we'll do the fast five. So this is where we just pretty much ask you 5 questions. You answer them in 10 seconds or less. And well, I guess for y'all, it's 2 people, so 20 seconds. And we'll wrap it up. So I'll take the first one and Marlon will take the next one. First question, what does success mean to y'all?
success is being able to do what I want, where I want, when I want, with who I want.
Success means like freedom and traveling.
There you go. Question number 2. What's your favorite money or business book?
I don't read books.
Join the morning meeting.
So I'm gonna have
I'll
him
answer this
me
one.
answer.
I'm still going with Dave Ramsey because I'm still going with Dave
Why you
Ramsey
stab him
because
like that over there?
because that still gave us the financial base that we needed.
Even after that nonsense from this
I'm still going with Total Money Makeover because I
For
feel
sure.
like that's a very entry level book that people need to get a base level understanding of money.
I think you got emotional attachment to it.
No, you're gonna have emotional
It's-
attachment.
I
It's
mean,
it's the first one. It's like it's the first thing that got you
like
on this
Rich Dad Poor
path.
Dad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it got you on that path to success. So
Yeah.
like without that,
And I still
the
haven't
journey
read
has-
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Really? Wow. I mean, it's no point in it now.
High key.
You ain't getting nothing from it.
You're too far ahead.
Cool. So next question: would y'all rather have $1,000 a week for life or $1 million today, and why?
I'm gonna say $1,000 a week. Tony said if I say $1 million, Tony would be like, no, that's the wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer. It's your
There's no wrong
answer. It's
answer.
not mine.
What do you think?
I would go with 1,000 for the
I knew she was
reoccurring
gonna say that.
aspect.
Yeah, I knew she was.
I'm gonna take the $1 million, and I'm gonna take the $1 million because I feel like
You gonna invest it back?
Yeah,
yeah.
I know it.
You say yeah. Nobody invest in whatever all that other stuff.
Give me the security.
Right? But that makes sense though. Okay. Question number 4. If you could go back and change anything about your journey, what would it be?
Maybe sharing earlier our debt-free journey because we didn't share it at all because of me. I didn't want people in my business.
Yeah, now the business is all the way out.
Say all that business.
Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely sharing early in our journey because I could have been a car rental guru right now. Nah, but sharing early in the journey would have been helpful. That's a good one.
For sure. So last question: where can people find out more about you?
Okay, the Hartrimony, which is a play on our last name, Hartzogs and Matrimony. It was our wedding hashtag. So it's the HARTRIOM. What? R-I.
There's an Owen?
No,
not
R-I-M-O-N-Y. Let me
One more
repeat
time.
that. The Hartrimony. The HARTRIMONY.
And cleaningbusinessuniversity.com if you want the course.
Directly, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. They turned the last name into a business.
That's it.
Yes.
That's what's up,
From
man.
a wedding hashtag to a business.
Yeah.
Yes, Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, this has been dope.
I'm gonna close this out. So whenever you're ready for the outro, I got you.
Chill. That's you gonna throw off the dynamic.
Well, hey, you gotta know it. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of the Money Monopolizers podcast. New episodes will be released every Thursday, and we'll be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Just search Money Monopolizer wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you learned something of value today. If you did, we appreciate if you rated us 5 stars and left us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can find out more info about us on Twitter at The Monopolizers or on IG at Money Monopolizers. We post informative content on there that'll keep you engaged, so check that out and share those posts. But until then, we're out of here.
That was all right.
You've been listening to the Money Monopolizers podcast, helping you take control of your financial destiny. To learn more about how you can be in control of your money, visit moneymonopolizers.com. We'll catch you next time when Alex and Marlon share more personal finance and wealth creation tips with you. Now it's time